What's up, everyone? Justin here, back with a new Let's Talk About It movie reviews. Let's talk about it. The original, the classic, innovative, great, original horror movie changed the game for horror films and how they would be made after this. 1984's Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's talk about it. As I have a Jason mask in the background, but I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm talking about Freddy Krueger. Became a horror legend, a horror icon. Robert Englund killed it. Did a fantastic job. Did the best job possible, in my opinion. Nobody else would have came close to being as good as he was as Freddy Krueger. As playing Freddy Krueger, nobody else would have came close. Period. Others tried. Look at the fucking remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. God, that sucked. And the guy that played Freddy absolutely sucked, was horrible at it. I hated how he played Freddy. I thought he was horrible as Freddy. He was an embarrassment. And he was so bad at playing Freddy, I've said he should be blackballed from Hollywood and never allowed to work again in Hollywood. That's how bad he was playing Freddy Krueger in the remake. And the remake was not good. I hated the guy that played Freddy. I don't remember his name. I don't care what his name was. He was an embarrassment. And he was horrible. So Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Let's talk about it. God, growing up, man, I'm going to give a little bit of my history with Nightmare on Elm Street. Growing up, I was a young kid, very young, too young. I shouldn't have been seeing horror movies. Shouldn't have been seeing Nightmare on Elm Street. Shouldn't have been seeing Freddy Krueger movies as like a 4 or 5 year old, but I did. Long story short, my brother and I would get to rent our choice of movies as kids, like every weekend, just about. We would get to pick and rent a movie. My brother is 4 years older. He would always rent Nightmare on Elm Street. Or he liked Freddy a lot. Again, he's 4 years older, so if I was 4 years old, he was 8. Or he was 8 or 10, I don't know. But for some reason, yeah, my brother, I guess my aunt didn't care, or my uncle. Aunt or uncle were renting the movies for us. Nightmare. I didn't want to see Nightmare on Elm Street. I was a young kid. I don't want to be scared. But I watched it. I was very mesmerized by Freddy. I was like, who the hell is this guy with his pizza face, looking burned up, scarred up, looking ugly ass motherfucker? Who is this guy? He was very entertaining. He was even funny in the movies. They let Freddy be funny. And like starting in like part 2 and 3. He had great lines. In part 1, though, he was frightening. He was scary. There was nothing seen before like Freddy Krueger on film. In a horror movie, there was no one like him before as a killer. Like the main character in a movie. Yeah, there's been other main killers, other horror icons that were the main part of the movie, like Psycho. I forget the guy's name in Psycho, but he was played by Anthony Perkins. I forget his name. God. Something Bates. Something Bates. I'm not a Psycho expert, but yeah, I enjoyed Psycho in the sequels. Anyways, what was his name? Not Anthony Bates. I forget. Someone in the comments tell me what was his name. Something Bates. I know they made a series Bates Motel at one point. I think it was on A&E. But I don't feel like looking up Psycho. I'm here to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street again. Back to being a young kid when my love for horror movies was started by seeing Nightmare on Elm Street from my brother renting it, and I somehow was allowed to watch it. I guess my aunt and uncle went to sleep or something, and I was allowed to stay up and watch it. I did watch it like this a little bit, covering my eyes, but still watching it. And yeah, I saw a ton of Nightmare on Elm Street as a young kid. I shouldn't have been seeing it, but it gave me a passion inside of me that I still have to this day. Huge passion for horror movies. Made me a horror movie fan for life. So that reason, even though I scared shitless as a kid of Freddy Krueger, and I thought he's going to come in my dreams, I'm glad I saw it as a young kid because it made me a horror fan for life. Before I get to Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. So that's a backstory. I saw Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street as a young kid. I was mesmerized, interested in it. I was like, what? I know this is a scary... I didn't call it horror movies when I was a kid. I was like, it's a scary movie. And it was scary. Nightmare on Elm Street will freak out any young kid. So now what I'm going to do is, because I just thought of this before I started recording, what franchise, I wonder... What's the most successful horror franchise in history? Is it Michael Myers, Halloween? Probably. I don't know. Is it Jason, Friday the 13th? Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? I doubt it. Could it be Chucky, Child's Play series? I don't know. Could it be Nightmare on Elm Street? I'm going to ask Google... Is Friday the 13th a more successful franchise or Nightmare on Elm Street? Let's see if they give me an answer. What is the most successful horror franchise? Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th?
Nightmare on Elm Street series, when compared to the other top-grossing American horror series, Halloween, Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Saw, Scream, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and adjusting for 2023 inflation, is ranked third with $793.5 million.
Okay, so I guess that's the answer from 2023, 2 years ago. Nightmare on Elm Street is number 3. Maybe it went up. I don't know. Maybe it's number 2 or 1 by now. I don't fucking know, but that's according to Google. So 700 some million they've made. That's a lot. Because the original Nightmare on Elm Street was made for not that much at all. Let's talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen it many times in my life. If I would guess, I've watched it, I don't know, man. Maybe 20 times I've seen it or more. I don't know. Here's a damn poster. What a poster to a new horror movie. Nobody heard of what when it came out. Again, I didn't see it in the theaters. I was only, came out in 84, in November. 84 November, it came out. It was impossible for me to go see it. I was only 2 years old at the time. So, but what a poster, man, to get horror fans excited about this new horror movie. Before this, we had Halloween, Michael Myers. Halloween was revolutionary with how it was shot through the killer's view through Michael Myers' eyes. Black Christmas was pretty revolutionary, how it was shot through the killer also. And yeah, Black Christmas, Halloween, Friday the 13th were the big franchises, but Nightmare on Elm Street hit the horror scene, and my God, it made a ton of money. It was very popular. It was a big box office hit. New Line Cinema helped fund it. The guy that ran New Line Cinema actually ran out of money or ran out of funding with somebody helping fund it at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street. He had no more funding for the movie to finish it. He took out his own money. The guy that ran New Line Cinema, I forget his name. Maybe I'll find his name talking about the movie. But yeah, he ran out of money. And out of his own pocket, he paid for the rest of the movie to get made. So that's awesome. Here's a poster, legendary poster, A Nightmare on Elm Street. If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all. What a poster. Look at that. Look at the artwork, man. Horror posters and movies from the 80s had the best fucking movie posters. Look at that. What a great poster. Very good. Just epic. And just so creative. Nowadays, movie posters, a lot of them suck. I'm not going to say back in my day and sound like an old man that movies were better, more gritty, less not politically correct. And I'm not going to say movies were better in the 80s, but a lot of stuff from the past, from the 80s, early 90s. A lot of stuff was better in society and the world and just living in society. It was more simple. It was a more simple time growing up in the 80s and early 90s. I lived it. It was a more simple time, guys. Nobody was on their cell phones, just staring at them all day on social media. Nobody's doing that. People, friends of yours were more engaged with each other. You were more wanting to be around each other more, to hang out, just do fun shit, not have a care in the world, and just do fun shit with your friends. I'll give you some examples. Me growing up, I play football, street football, tackle football with my friends. It was a blast. I play baseball games with a ton of friends. Ride bikes together, play tag, play bike tag. Play soccer together. Yeah, the only sports I played with friends was baseball, football, and a little bit of soccer. But yeah, times were simpler and more fun than what we're living in 2025. The only benefit to living in 2025, the only benefits are you can get a ton of information off the internet. Cell phones are a good thing. You get a hold of someone or text them. And yeah. That's about it. Oh, I'm kidding, but yeah, the only good things about now is you can get a ton of information off the internet. You can stream and find just about any movie you want to watch. You can stream it if you want and not leave home. Back in my day, when I was growing up, you had to go to a movie, go to the theater, or rent a movie. going to a video store. And back in the early 90s, I remember I had a video store really close to my house. And God, there were a ton of video stores back then. But then Blockbuster put them all out of business, just about. And Planet Hollywood at one point was a video store. Or no, not Planet Hollywood. I think that was a restaurant or something. Hollywood Video it was called. Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, that was a ton of fun. Going inside the video store, picking up a horror movie. And I rented many of them in the 90s. A ton of Nightmare on Elm Street, a lot of Friday the 13th. Going inside the video store, looking at the cover art on the boxes. For example, say you wanted to rent wrestling videos, you would see all these on the shelves available to rent. It's a great time. You bring the movie home, VHS tape, put in the VCR and watch what you rented. And back then, when you would rent, the prices were only $1.10. $1.10 to rent a older movie or older video is $1.10. The thing new releases were $4 or $3 or $2.50. I don't remember, but I remember I'd rent a ton of wrestling videos and they were only $1.10. God, that was such a great, simpler time in the world back then. So to the movie, finally. So Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, the budget was 1.1 million, or maybe it was a little higher, I don't know. It was distributed by New Line Cinema. The release date was November 9th, 1984. Directed, written by Wes Craven, the late, great Wes Craven. One of my favorite directors. Sadly, he's passed away. He was a horror legend. He was an innovator. He was ahead of his time. He was just all-time great director. He's up there. Wes Craven's one of my favorites. He's up there with George A. Romero, Wes Craven, George A. Romero, John Carpenter, Tobe Hooper. Some of my favorites. So, mostly, again, the budget was 1.1 million. It grossed. Box office was 57.1 million. So, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger carried the movie, in my opinion. Also, Nancy carried the movie. She was so good. Nancy was so good as the final girl. She was great. God, I just watched it back tonight. Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched it back. They ran it on AMC Live on the channel AMC, and it was part of the last drive-in. Joe Bob Briggs on Fear Fest talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. So, God, she was so great in it. Nancy. I'll get her name in a minute. The movie was mostly filmed in Los Angeles. And God, what a classic. Just, to me, a perfect horror movie. I have nothing at all to complain about. I have no criticism of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a perfect horror movie. It's a perfect story. The main character, Freddy, is great. Nancy is great. Johnny Depp is even good. Is Glenn. He's damn good. He doesn't have that many lines, but he was good for his first movie of Johnny Depp's. And my God, he would explode and be a big star after this. He was in the TV series 21 Jump Street. Then he was in the movie Edward Scissorhands, big hit. Then after that, he's in, what's that movie called? Eating Gilbert Grape, I think. He was in that. And then he's in Pirates of the Caribbean and other movies also. So Heather. Nancy Thompson was Heather Langer Camp, I think. Nancy, God, Heather as Nancy was so good. She carried the movie with Robert Englund as Freddy. Robert Englund was not the original Freddy. Can you believe that? He was not cast as the original Freddy. That's insane. He was not. Some other actor was, and the guy had like no facial expressions at all. He wasn't really. He was like played Freddy like he was dead, like he's a dead faced character. No expressions at all. So he was recasted, and Robert Englund, I believe, got the role. Heather Nancy Thompson was so great, carried the movie as a final girl. Robert Englund as Freddy, carried it. The other cast was John Saxon as a lieutenant, Nancy's dad. He was pretty good in it. Tina was pretty good also. Amanda Wells, she was good as Tina. That death scene where she had to climb up the ceiling, being killed by an invisible Freddy in her dream. My God, that had to be a rough, tough, hard scene to do because at a rotating bedroom. That's insane. They built a rotating room because that's the only way they could get the effect done. For her being upside down on the ceiling and the blood coming down. They had to turn the room upside down. It was insane. That's insane. And everybody on the production and the cast, a lot of them got sick from probably staring at an upside down room. God, that mess you up. That gets you sick to your stomach. But yeah, watch a documentary. There's documentaries about the original Nightmare on Elm Street. They talk about the upside down room. They talk about the upside down scene. And it was insane. Even when Glenn got sucked in the bed by Freddy when he was asleep. You know what else is a great scene? Man, there's so many great scenes. I can't talk about everything that I want. I mean, I'd be here a whole hour if I go on and on. There's a lot of great lines. I'll just talk about a few. Before Glenn got sucked in the bed and decided to fall asleep, because I don't blame him. I think he was up a couple of days because Nancy told Glenn, I've been up 7 days straight. This is going on my 7th day without sleep. By the way, Nightmare on Elm Street was... Wes Craven got inspired by real nightmares people had. Real nightmares. They couldn't fall asleep. They were afraid to go to sleep. And a few of them passed away in their sleep. Because they were afraid and didn't want to go to sleep. But eventually you got to fall asleep. And sadly they're having nightmares and somehow they passed away. That's crazy. I don't know what happened there. Maybe a real spirit or ghost got in them. That's crazy. But yeah, it was a report. It was a real report. People passed away after having bad dreams and not wanting to sleep. Look it up. So yeah. The film was critically acclaimed upon its release, and it's considered one of the greatest horror movies ever made in 2021. I agree, it is one of the greatest ever made. It's in my top. It's in my top 2. It's in my top 1 or 2. It's that good. It's definitely in my top 5. I'd put it number 1 or 2. I think it's actually tied. It's tied because the story's so original. Freddy is so original. I would put it tied with my favorite horror movie of all time, Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. But if it's not in horror fans' top 5, you're an idiot. It's that good. So, God, in the film spawned a franchise, 6 sequels, a television series, crossover with Friday the 13th, Freddy versus Jason. My sweatshirt here is Freddy versus Jason. That was a great movie. Really fun to watch. So they did make a sequel. New Line Cinema right away wanted a sequel. In 1985, they had Freddy 2. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Growing up, me and my friends wouldn't even call it Nightmare on Elm Street. We were just yeah, let's go see a Freddy. Let's go rent a Freddy. Let's watch Freddy tonight. That's what we'd call it. Let's go watch Freddy. Or we wouldn't call it Nightmare on Elm Street. So, my God, man. The movie for the actors was probably, I'm sure, it's tough to make. Again, the film had many elements from Wes Craven's childhood. He was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in Los Angeles Times in the 70s about refugees that would have disturbing nightmares and refuse to sleep, and some of the men would then pass away soon after. That's insane. The writing was so good on Nightmare on Elm Street. The casting was so good. The acting was good. The only guy that I thought wasn't that good was Tina's boyfriend. He wasn't that good in the movie. He was average. And when he got arrested, what I find funny, I want to talk about this. When he got arrested, he started running away. Why was he barefoot? That was funny. Why was he barefoot? And another great line when Nancy's falling asleep. God, she's falling asleep. Or about to fall asleep in her bathtub, and her mother starts yelling at her through the door like, don't fall asleep, people pass away, and you can drown in a little bathtub, I guess. You can actually drown. I don't know how that's possible. But people have drowned in bathtubs, I guess, when they're too drunk or on drugs. I still don't know how that can happen, but okay, it has. That's one way I will not go. I don't know how I'm going to go. I don't ever want to think about it. But I can guarantee you I'm never going to drown in a bathtub. Or fall asleep and drown. I have fallen asleep before, I think, in a bathtub, but I never go under the water. Anyways, Nancy's in the tub. Her mother says, don't fall asleep. She yells. This is just a funny line. It always makes me laugh every time I watch the movie again. She yells at her mother, oh, for Pete's sake, mother. That's just funny to me. And who uses the term for Pete's sake? God, that's a really old term to say that to someone. She goes like, oh, mother, for Pete's sake, I'm not going to fall asleep. And then she does. Classic, legendary horror scene. Legs up in the air, knees up in the air, legs are spread in the tub. What a great scene. Just an all-time great horror scene in movie history. She falls asleep, legs up, relaxed, knees out of the water. Freddy's glove slowly rises out of the water, out of the tub, to get her right near her private areas. Pulls her under the tub, It's like a little hole in the tub, I guess, going to hell. I don't know where. But she's in a nightmare with Freddy. He pulls her under the tub, man. That is a legendary, great scene. She's underwater under the tub, trying to fight for her life to get back above water. Her mother tries to break in the bathroom because the door is locked, I think. Her mother gets in to try to help her out. She's already out of the tub. With a towel on, she tells her mother, I'm fine. I'm fine. Her mother's like, I told you if you fall asleep, you get drowned. And she doesn't let her mother know that she's having nightmares, falling asleep. Later on, her mother finds out and then tries to absolutely trap her own daughter in the house and lock her in. Locked her own daughter inside. What the fuck? You're a horrible mother. You seemed like an alcoholic in it also. Nancy at one point goes to get treatment for nightmares to see what's going on with her nightmares. Her mother takes her for treatment. She falls asleep, has a nightmare, pulls out Freddy's hat. And the look of Freddy is classic. His look, his hat, his red and red and green sweater, stripes, just classic. Classic look. The glove with the sharp knife, Sonic, great look for a horror character. Just like Jason had a machete, and Jason would use any kind of weapon, really. But what a movie, man. Great line when she's in the tub. And then let's go to Glenn. This is a funny line. I don't know why he says this, but this is funny to me. He's sitting on his bed with headphones on, trying to listen to music and watch TV with a mini TV on his bed. That's what they would sell in the 80s. Those little TVs you could carry around, actually. Instead, now we got tablets. Instead of little, heavy little TVs. But yeah, Glenn's, his mother's like, how can you listen to music and watch and hear TV? And then he's like, I'm not even watching the TV. And then Glenn says, oh yeah, at midnight, I want to watch Miss Nude World is coming on. And his mom's like, his mom doesn't care one bit. He's going to watch Miss Nude World. His mom's like, oh, how are you going to hear what they say if you have your headphones on? And if there is something, or there was something called Miss Nude World, trust me, we don't care what they were saying. I wouldn't care. But anyways, that was a funny line. Whoever wrote that was really funny. I'm about to watch Miss Nude World. Nancy tells Glenn on the phone, because she has bars. Bars got put up on all her windows. And the thing that Glenn was climbing to get in her bedroom to visit her, that thing is ripped down off the house. Whatever the hell that's called. It's like a little wooden cheap fence. But that's ripped down, bars on her windows. She can't leave her house. Nancy's locked inside her damn house with Freddy. And her mother's like, I don't care if it kills me. You're going to get some damn sleep tonight. What? Really? You want your own daughter murdered by Freddy in a nightmare. Because you're an alcoholic and you're delusional. And you had the guilt. You had the guilt. You couldn't live with it. You had to tell Nancy what you did to Freddy. You told her Fred Krueger was a child murderer. Me and the parents got fed up. We hunted him down and burned him up, burned his house down. And then, Nancy grabs her mother's bottle, throws it down, breaks it. That was a great scene. She has his hat. She's like, Fred Krueger, his hat says, do you know who this is? Please tell me. You better tell me. My life depends on it. And finally, the drunk. Because that's what her mother seemed like, a drunk. A crazy drunk that was delusional and wanted to lock her up. But anyways, just so good, man. So many scenes are great. The whole movie's great. It's a perfect movie, just like Ghostbusters, the original. Nightmare on Elm Street's a perfect movie, in my opinion. When she falls asleep in high school, and she ends up in the boiler room or the basement, and she sees Freddy appear for the first time. Tina was in a body bag. Blood on the high school floors. A stupid hall monitor was dressed up in a Freddy sweater. That was really funny. And Freddy, I guess, was a hall monitor because she had the glove on. Nancy's in the boiler room and sees Freddy for the first time. She's so freaked out by him, she burns herself on a pipe to wake up in class. She wakes up screaming out of her mind. Class is looking at her like, what the hell's wrong with you? Such a great movie, guys. I cannot put it over enough. Nightmare on Elm Street is a must watch if you're a horror fan. I like to watch it every couple years or every Halloween season. It is just so great. Oh, it's so great. And the merchandise, my God, man. Robert Englund made a fortune playing Freddy. And I think he probably was sick of it. By part 4 or 5, I think he was sick of it. But he had to keep playing Freddy. Hopefully made more money every movie. Freddy's Revenge, part 2 is pretty damn good. Pretty good sequel. Definitely one of the gayest Freddy's, but it didn't bother me one bit. That the main character was a gay guy. At the time, he was acted like in the movie he had a girlfriend, but in real life, he was a gay man. And that's too bad he couldn't come out of the closet when he was an actor. So, yeah. Freddy's Revenge, I guess. Freddy's Revenge started filming, and it came out in 1985. Filming wrapped at the end of July, and the film was rushed to get ready for a November release. Got the original ending. The ending made no fucking sense. The whole movie, I guess, was a dream because Nancy's out of her house. She looks fresh as a daisy. Her mother's like, hey, you look good. Did you sleep well? She's like, yeah, I slept well. And so the whole movie, I guess, was a dream. That's kind of stupid, I guess. If it was a dream, that's pretty dumb. But yeah, the mother's acting like everything's normal with Nancy. And Nancy's going on high school with her friends. Here comes Glenn in a red car with her other friends. Tina and the other guy. I forget his name. But then the hood, it's like convertible. The hood comes down and it's in Freddy's colors. That was a great twist for a sequel, tease of a sequel. And then the mother, this is so corny. This was bad. It was so bad, it was actually really funny. It was so outlandish, ridiculous looking, but it was really funny. And then Nancy's mom gets ripped out of the door window, pulled in the house, sucked in the tiny little square window, sucked in there, and she was a fucking blow-up doll. Sucked her in the window, she looked like a blow-up doll. That was hilarious. That was the guy from New Line Cinema's idea to do that and put that in the movie. Because he got to put that in the movie because he funded it, a lot of the end of it. But it was funny. It didn't ruin the movie, but it was ridiculous looking. It was so fake looking. The blow-up doll goes through the window. It didn't look like a human. And another great scene, the guy from New Line Cinema put it in the movie. This was his idea. When Nancy started running up the steps, her feet were sinking in like the steps were quicksand, but it was actually oatmeal in there. It looked like whipped cream or oatmeal or something. It was funny. That was pretty memorable part of the movie when her feet sink in the steps. That was memorable. So that was a good idea by the guy from New Line Cinema that ran it. Here was his name, Robert. New Line Cinema's leader was Robert Shea. He demanded a twist ending. And I don't blame him because he gave up his own money. So in which Freddy would disappear, and it all seemed like the whole movie was a dream, only for the audience to discover that it was a dream within a dream within a dream, according to Wes Craven. The original ending, here it is. The original ending of the script, Nancy comes out of the door, and it's unusually cloudy and foggy day. A car pulls up with her dead friends in it. She's startled. She goes out and gets in the car, wondering what the hell's going on. They drive off into the fog with the mother left standing at the doorstep. And that's it. It was very brief. And it suggested that maybe life is sort of a dream too. But then Robert Shea wanted Freddy Krueger to be driving the car and have the kids screaming. He got his way. In part 2, Freddy was driving a school bus like a madman, and the kids were screaming, freaked out. That was a pretty funny beginning to Freddy 2 when he's driving a school bus. Wasn't as scary, but it's funny. So then, Shea wanted Freddy driving a car. Kids were screaming, and it all became very negative. And Shea said it was like, that's so 60s. It's stupid. Wes Craven, I think, said, I refuse to have Freddy in the driver's seat. And we thought up 5 different endings. The one we used with Freddy pulling the mother through the doorway amused us all so much we couldn't not use it. I agree. That was funny. The mother getting sucked back in the house by Freddy. That was actually funny and a good ending. I mean, because the movie is pretty damn scary. Freddy was really scary, really freaky. Really twisted, Freddy was. So the ending was pretty damn fun. Where they go away in the car, the windows roll up like Freddy's controlling the car, her mother gets sucked in the house, I guess into a nightmare with Freddy. That was pretty good shit, the ending, but it was a really weird ending. Wes Craven explained the effect of the fog did not work out for the team and they had to film without it. There were like 20 persons with fog machines, but the breeze at the time was too much. The fog was gone before they had the opportunity for the foggy scene. Again, my final thoughts, man. Oh, and the song. I gotta talk about the theme song. It is so legendary, so catchy, so good. It gets stuck in your head. Every time you watch A Nightmare on Elm Street, you want to start singing it. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And the nice visual of the girls jumping rope. That was good shit. I don't know where those little girls were from, I guess. A Nightmare, I guess. But, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, I don't know all the lyrics. I remember some of them. Let me look them up, actually. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6. I don't remember what 5, 6 is. 5, 6, better never sleep again. I don't know. Let me look them up though. Freddy's lyrics. God damn this. Freddy Krueger's lyrics. Or the 1, 2, 3 song, whatever you want to call it. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. That's easy to remember. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. I'm not looking at the lyrics, by the way. 5, 6, better stay up late. I don't remember it. Here we go. 5, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix, because that rhymes. That's good. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. What a song, man. What a catchy, epic song and theme for a horror movie. Nightmare on Elm Street had one of the best catchy theme horrors. Or music themes. Friday the 13th had it. Halloween had it. The great theme. Yeah, you know it. And Nightmare on Elm Street had it. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. I forgot 7, 8. 9, 10, never sleep again. My final thoughts on the original 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street. A 10 out of 10. And a 5-star review. 5 stars. And a 10 out of 10. Classic, legendary movie. All-time great horror movie. Will go down. Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street will go down as one of the greatest horror movies and horror characters of all time. Hope you guys enjoy my Nightmare on Elm Street review. Let's talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. I love it. I still love the movie. It's 41 years old, and it still holds up. It's still great. God, it's good. Bye for now.